afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Cougars of Vernon Hills would like to welcome you to Rust-Oleum Field in Cougar Stadium on the campus of Vernon Hills High School. It is week 1 of Cougar football playoff action and the 5A IHSA playoffs. Today's varsity contest is going to feature the visitors, Bronzeville of Urban Prep High School versus your Cougars of Vernon Hills. Our officials for today's game, Matt Naley, Bart Newman, Craig Regis, Louis Garosi, and Don Schaus are registered with the Illinois High School Association. Their experience and integrity qualify them to administer the rules of the game. An attitude of good sportsmanship is expected from all players, coaches, and spectators, regardless of your personal feelings or loyalties in this contest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, please rise, face the south. Gentlemen, remove your caps while the pep band, under the direction of Mr. Randy Sundell, perform our national anthem. Thank you, Cougar Pep Band. At this time, we'd like to welcome the visiting players, coaches, fans, and spectators from Urban Prep Bronzeville to Rust-Oleum Field. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for some Cougar football. The head coach of your Cougars, who enter today's contest with a 6-3 record, is Bill Bellacomo. He's assisted by Corey Atwell, Greg Stilling, Tim Dido, Jason Zarnecki, Avelino Cortez, Todd Gedville, Mike Larson, and Dave Schroeder.
Welcome to this contest at Rust-Oleum Field, playoff football here for the Vernon Hills Cougars facing the Chicago Urban Prep Bronzeville Lions. I'm here with Rohit Chitakela. I'm Tyler Kading. So the Cougars come into this game 6-3, as do the Lions.
Last week we saw that the Cougars lost against Highland Park in a very close matchup. It was a really good game, but it ended up in a pick by Himmel.
And for the Lions, you have a 46-0 victory versus Kelly, another Chicago school. Chicago Urban Prep Bronzeville coming from Chicago, winning 46-0, have not given up a point in their last 3 games. That's going to be something the Cougars look to reverse here as they get the opening kickoff. It's going to be deep for the Cougars. It's going to be Jake Morris and Nick Morris back deep for the Cougars. Fans on their feet as we get ready here. The kicker for the Lions is going to be their number 20. And along we go.
Morris and Maris back for the Cougars deep.
Trevon Hillard. The kicker for the Lions is Trevon Hillard. As I mentioned before, Morris and Maris deep for the Cougars. We get started here from Rust-Oleum Field. Playoff football for the Vernon Hills Cougars. Here we go, as this kick's going to be short. Taken at the 15, down to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, cuts aside to the 35, looks down to the 40, tackled at the 42-yard line. That was Jake Morris on the return, and great field position for the Cougars to start their drive here.
I think it's very important to have great field position at the beginning to set the tone for the whole game.
And it will be Jack Himmel under center. Kyle Hull went down injured last week, is dressed, and was taking pregame warm-ups. But it will be Himmel, the quarterback here. He has 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Takes the snap, it's a handoff, and he's gonna get nothing out of that one. Two Lions there to stop him, no gain. Drew Weingartner on the run. The first guy there was Seth Holt.
It looked as if if Urban Prep could read that play and got to him immediately.
Second down here, snap. Staying in the pocket, looks the fire, doesn't, pulls it back down. He's going to take off, gets about 3 yards down to the 45 before he slides down to avoid a hit by Seth Holt. And it's going to be 3rd down and 7 here. Looking for a pass or a run?
Right now, I think it'd most likely be a pass because they need a lot of yardage. So pass would be the better option here to get yardage.
Same formation. He has 3 to the left, 2 to the right. And a jump. Jump by the Lions. That's going to put the ball 5 yards back down to the 50-yard line. Was Rayshawn Fields the guy to jump past? It's going to be change it from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 2, and also change the mindset of the Cougars.
It'll be interesting to see what they go with here because they can go for a pass or a run to get the first down here.
And they're going to push Lyle into a running back position. 2 to the left, 2 to the right here. Lyle looking at the halfback spot. It's going to be a motion. It's going to be a read option here. Himmel takes it. Himmel tries to get there. I'm not sure if he did. It's going to be close. And yet to see a signal to see whether it's a first down or not. And it's not going to be. It's going to be 4th and inches here.
It'll be interesting to see if the Cougars decide to punt it or go for it right now.
And it looks like they are going to go for it. No indication of the punting unit on yet. With only about a half a yard to go here. Himmel tried to get him to jump, not able to. Guy in motion, that's Lyle. He takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Lyle, looking over the middle, and it's complete to Weingartner. Weingartner to the 35-30, and he is going to break through. Drew Weingartner is pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. A great play by the defensive back there, number 24, Howard Brookins, able to get that, able to stop him from scoring 6, but the ball will be at the 2-yard line. A beautifully designed play by the Cougars.
That was a really good gain there. It sets the tone and it causes Urban Prep to think what they have to do.
At the goal line, Himmel in the shotgun. As Lyle and Weingartner on a motion. Weingartner takes the handoff, and he is in for the touchdown. Cougars get 6 points. The Lions concede their first points in almost a month. 6-0 Cougars, 9:53 here to go in the first quarter. Extra point pending.
It's all started with the Cougars getting great field position near the 42-yard line, and it set the tone for the beginning of the game, showing that the Cougars are not willing to give up.
Will be Andre Smith. Andre Schmidt, who's almost automatic from this range. It's a really deep range. And this kick is good. And it's 7-0 Cougars here in the first quarter. 9:53 remaining. Playoff football from Rust-Oleum Field.
9:53 remaining after a big 4th and 1 pickoff. Cougars 7, Lions 0.
And now we get to see this monstrous Cougar defense, which is really their focal point, come onto the field here, led by guys like number 51 guy we've called really all year. Number 51, Andrew Smith, and number 59, McNeeman Vincent are 2 guys we've called all year. Look for them to have a huge impact in this game.
They've been leading Cougars in tackles, and they've been helping out pressuring the quarterback.
Long kicker is Andre Schmidt for the Cougars. 2 guys back deep for the Lions. One of them I can see Brian Jones, number 3. The other one I can't make out from this viewpoint. Looks like it might be number 11, Brandon Forney. Interestingly, did not see Kyle Hull on that drive. He is dressed and ready to go. Did not see him starting quarterback. Probably a backup to Himmel at this point. Don't want to risk any further injury, and it's an onside kick recovered by the Lions. A nice idea there is to actually Andrew Smith kicked that ball off, and it is going to be the 48-yard line. That's where the Lions will take over.
It'll be interesting to see what the Lions do here since they are right near midfield.
Urban Prep will start with a 1st and 10, just in their own territory at the 49.
It will be at the 50-yard line. They move the ball up a yard. For first down, the quarterback for the Lions is number 7, Rayshawn Fields, as he's the guy back there. Sorry, no, he's the fullback. As this is going to be a handoff. It's going to be go through the 40 to the 39-yard line there for a first down. Jason Russell, the guy that's running on that play.
The Lions already got a first down on their first play. They seem to be setting the tone on offense right now.
Number 6, Jeremiah Webb is the quarterback for the Lions. I'm sorry, it is not Rayshawn Fields. He's playing at fullback. From under center, another handoff here. It's going to go down to the 37-yard line for a gain of about 3. Guy we've called all year. Sorry, no, that's not Andrew Smith. That's Nick Maris making that tackle. That's going to be 2nd down and 7.
It'll be interesting to see what the Lions do here, as they can either do a run or a pass to try to go for a first down.
It'll be a 2nd down and 7 here. Lions coming into this game, as we mentioned, 6 and 3. Same record as the Cougars, the 10 seed in this playoff bracket. Cougars with the home field advantage, they got 7 seed. It's going to be another handoff. He's going to juke outside down to the 30 to the 26-yard line. And it's going to be a first down there. First guy there to get him was number 32, Jeffrey Rosenstock. It's going to be a first down for the Lions.
It looks as if the running back for the Lions is doing a really good job trying to find the holes in order to get a first down.
First down and 10 here from the shotgun. First time they've been from the gun all game. It's going to be a handoff. Caught outside, and it's going to be tackled. Andrew Smith with the great play there to leave him losing a yard. 2nd and 11 here from the 29-yard line. Looking in warm-ups, it did not seem that the Lions kicker had a big leg.
Rayshawn Fields couldn't really get anywhere with that play because Andrew Smith just bust through the line and tackled him.
Second down here. And a little bit of a jump. Did not get to the line, and they are going to throw a flag. Both teams calling for either side. And it's going to be a dead ball foul, a false start against the Lions. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty, pushing them back to 2nd and 16, 16 here.
It'll be interesting to see if they want to go for a pass here because in order to gain some yardage to make it an easier 3rd down, or just go for the first down.
2nd and 17. It's going to be a snap. It looked like a little bit of an early rush from the Cougars. Not called. Breaks out of a sack, and he's going to have to go down. Could not find an opening. Lost his step at the 41-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and a mile here for the Lions.
Looking at that play, the quarterback was under pressure for the whole. As soon as the play started, he got tripped up and then he got tackled right at the 40-yard line.
I don't think the coach, as he was on the field, the coach for the Lions, Michael Willis, I do not think he was happy with the refs on that call. I did see a little bit of an early jump and an early run by the Cougars, not called, and that's really what gave the pressure. Take it. They'll take it. Now it's 3rd and 27 here. Looking for a conservative play call, I would assume, right?
Yeah. They may go for a pass to go for a first down, but most likely it's a conservative play call.
And they are going to go for the first down. It's a deep pass, and it's tipped and knocked down. No one could get to that one. The guy that tipped it was number 22, Drew Weingartner, right at Nick Maris. He could not bring it down, and it will be 4th down, and the Lions will be forced to punt.
It looks like right now the Cougar defense is doing really well in stopping this Lions offense.
Except for you see the couple big runs, and they really bounced back really well from those 2 big runs the Lions have had. Rayshawn Fields done a really nice job breaking outside, but not much they can do when it gets inside against the especially the nose tackle McNeeman Vincent. This is a high snap and it's blocked, picked up by the Lions, and they're not going to be able to bring it anywhere. Cougars get the ball at the 48-yard line. Trey Hammer, the guy to block that punt, and the Cougars will get another good field position right here.
The Cougars seem to have a lot of adrenaline flowing in them as they're doing things on the offensive end, defensive end, and even special teams.
And out comes Kyle Hull for this possession. Himmel was there for the first possession. Now it's Kyle Hull under center. Very interesting to see what Coach Balacomo is doing with this. And it will be 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Hammer in motion. It's going to be a run to him. Hammer gets outside to the 50. Hammer to the 45. Turns on the Jets to the 40. Just a penalty flag down. It's going to be at the 37-yard line by where the penalty flag was thrown. It looks like this is going to be coming back. And the flag is actually put back at the 42.
Larry Morris made the stop for Urban Prep.
It is going to be a holding call against the Cougars. We'll basically replay that down as that holding was 10 yards down the field. Actually push them back 1 yard. It's going to be 1st and 11.
It looks like as if the Cougars are just going to run the ball again as they want to get some yards before trying to pass it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And Hull in the shotgun. Takes the snap. They're going to go for a little screen pass. Go down to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, and he's going to get pushed out there. Drew Weingartner with that reception. It's going to be 2nd and about 3 for the Cougars.
The Cougars had a lot of receivers which had some nice blocking and allowed them to have that gain there in order to make it an easier 2nd down.
Jones pushed on bounds. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Cougars.
2nd and 3 here. Lyle lined up in the slot to the left of Hull. Three receivers to his left, 2 to the right. Guy in motion. That's Maris, and he's going to hand the ball off to Maris. Maris cuts inside, I guess to the 35, tackled at the 33-yard line. First guy there for the Lions was number 9, Jamari Pearson, making that tackle. It's going to be 1st down for the Cougars. They drive again against this really defense, which has looked really solid this year.
The offensive line did a great job there opening up a hole for Maris in order to make that run.
And timeout is going to be called here. Timeout by the Lions, and they'll use their first. Cougars really driving against a Lions defense, which especially in the past 3 weeks has looked invincible.
They've given up 0 points through 3 for the last month, and now they're.
Cougar fans, we have some really good news to report from earlier this morning. Your girls cross-country team finished 2nd in their sectional and will be advancing to state. Congratulations to the girls cross-country team.
And the Cougars coming in here 1st and 10. Really looking and running the ball against this really good defense. It's been almost impeccable, especially in the past 3 weeks, combined and give up 0 points. In the past 3 weeks, really have made them look like they're nothing, not being able to stop the run at all. You've seen Weingartner and Hammer and now Maris. All 3 have big runs. So for a passing offense, which really the Cougars are, that's what they use the most. Barely ever line up with a guy in the backfield. They do this play with Lyle, who's to the right of Hull. Really doing a great job running the football. And they're going to play action fake here to Morris. Morris cuts inside to the 15, to the 10. Morris is going to go, and he got in for the touchdown for the Cougars.
This Lions defense doesn't seem to be having the same luck as it had for the past 3 weeks. They've given up 14 points in the first quarter.
Great play there by the Cougars. The play action completely sold. Nice catch, nice stretch there by Trey Hammer. And the Cougars take an early lead, 13-0, about to be 14-0 with this extra point. The Schmidt is good, and it's 14-0 Cougars. Here's 6:29 left in the first quarter. 14-0 Cougars. Lions really have not looked like they've come to play.
It looks like as if the Cougars are taking away all the luck from the Lions with all their hard work.
Cougars will line up for the field goal here, or sorry, for the kickoff here. They just got the extra point. Lions, as we've said, they've had a couple runs. They've had a couple runs. One name we've called is Rashawn Fields. He's been able to break it outside against the Cougars, and that's where they're most vulnerable, is on the outsides. But really have not seen anything from up the gut at all that's worked. They've had a couple. They had the sack, which to try to run up the gut against the Cougars, and it didn't work. As well as they've had a couple runs that were stopped by Andrew Smith up the gut. So expect them to run it to the outsides here, but right outsides also gives you that second dimension. That's something we haven't seen from the Lions so far.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, as they have not had this feeling of being down for the past 3 weeks.
Schmidt here lining up. He's going to kick it deep, and he kicks it all the way through the end zone. That's going to be a touchback. The Lions will start at the 20-yard line, looking to do something. They had a drive going on their last possession, and then a big sack, and then the punt block led to the good field position for the Cougars. Really couldn't have gone worse at the end of the drive.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, as Fields has been doing good stuff on the run game, but they may go for the pass.
Line up at the 20 here for the Lions. Cougars line up in an unconventional 3-5 formation. 4 outside linebackers, 2 considered spurs on the very outside. Lining up against run-heavy formation right now of the Lions. Have 1 wide receiver. That's all the way at the top of your screen. The snap is going to be a run here, and he's going to be wrapped up. Gets about 2 yards on the play. The first guy there for the Cougars is Jeffrey Rosenstock. Be 2nd and 8. Again, that's just Rashawn Fields.
The Cougar defense seemed to have read that perfectly, as the whole team knew where Fields was going.
2nd down here. And a jump there by the Lions. And it looks like the ball will be going back another 5 yards. 2nd false start penalty of the game, as it will be marked back 5 yards for the dead ball foul. 2nd and 13 here. Really, so far, especially at the line of scrimmage, pretty undisciplined. Lions.
It'll be interesting to see if they stay with the run game or go into the passing game.
It'll be a handoff here. It's going to be run up the gut, and it's going to be stopped by a couple Cougars. First one to meet him was Andrew Smith. A couple guys pile on top, and it's going to be 3rd down and 11 here for the Lions. Passing situation.
It looked as if the linebackers were there right when the hole opened up and got to him before he made a big gain.
It's going to be 3rd and 11. There's one article which I saw wrote by the Chicago Tribune, which I really liked, and it was Coach Bellicomo talking about Drew Weingartner. Weingartner's played a big part in the offense so far, and really on the defense as well, is where he's been making his mark. He's been starting here in the secondaries. This one's deep, and there's a flag down, picked off by the Cougars. It's Drew Weingartner. Weingartner to the 50, Weingartner to the 40, down to the 30, and he's going to get out of bounds there. As we're talking about him, Drew Weingartner, but there is a flag down. He's been starting in the secondary since his sophomore year. He's really just become a slot receiver, also the punt returner and kick returner normally for the Cougars. Really is a guy that can do it all, and he's the guy that Coach Bellicomo really wants to put the ball in the hands of. And we'll see what this call is. It's going to be a pass interference one way or the other. Still haven't seen any indication. And it is going to be against the Cougars. So that interception is negated. The Lions get another set of downs. I didn't see any on either side there. It was a very interesting call to me.
Well, looking at it on the far side of the field, it looked as if the receiver got tripped up.
will be first down. It's going to be a little pitch here. He's going to get outside to the 30. Cut the side to the 30 and a big hit. Fans are calling for a holding call. Nothing there. A big hit there by the Cougars. That's Nick Maris wrapping up. Jake Morris, not Nick Maris, wrapping up number 24, Howard Brookins, the guy carrying the ball for the Lions for a loss of about 4. It's going to be 2nd and 14.
Jake Morris had a great stop there along with a big hit. We'll see how he does during the rest of this game.
Morris, the guy we really haven't seen getting much time on the field yet in this game, this season, lining up there in this playoff game. It looks like the Cougars have gone to a more 4 defensive backs approach. As it's going to be a handoff or a little lateral pass here, not going to get anywhere, and it's wrapped up by the Cougars. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 13.
It looked as if Rosenstock was following him and didn't let him go anywhere.
Pass was completed to Jones.
3rd and 12 here is what they're going to mark it out of the 30 at the 37-yard line. As you look at a very interesting situation here, especially against the normal linebacker-heavy look at the Cougars. They've really adapted it, brought on more defensive backs so far for this game against a run-heavy approach. It's a very interesting look.
We can see right now that Fields is lined up all the way on the bottom of your screen.
Snap here. He's looking, settling in the pocket, fires over the middle, and is caught. A nice play there by Brookins. Brookins going to get to the 40, to the 30, down to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and that's where he's brought out of bounds by Max Lyle. Howard Brookins with the big play there. There's a flag back by the line of scrimmage. It looks like this one might be against the Lions. That's what the Cougars are calling. Great play, great pitch and catch. Great run after the ball there by Howard Brookins.
Also, I would say that Max Lyles did a good job in order to prevent the touchdown.
And a holding call, as he could have let him go in for the touchdown, but there is a holding call. That will negate it. Obviously, Urban Prep not happy about that. Turns over 50-yard gain into a 10-yard loss. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 23 here.
It'll be interesting to see if the Cougars are going to start covering deep, since they have to gain about 23 yards.
That'll push.
And it will be 23. Back at the 8-yard line. So I think that was a little bit further. That was a little bit behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be ruled 3rd and 26 here at the field. 3:15 left here in the first quarter. 14-0 Cougars. 3 to the right, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Halfback and set. Takes a snap. Looking, firing, and it's going to be incomplete. In and out of the hands of Rashawn Fields. And it's going to be 4th down, and the Lions will have to punt back to the Cougars. Cougars really have been controlling this game.
And the Lions can't really get anything going offensively, and they don't have the luck that they've had for the past few weeks.
Offensively, in the last 3 games, they have been really good. But really, the story for their offense in the last 3 games has been their defense. 0-0-0. And the Cougars have really made them no contest at all so far in this game. Very impressive look there. It's going to be Drew Weingartner lined up, as we mentioned earlier, about his kick returns and punt returns. He'll be lined up at the 45-yard line. In fact, a little bit earlier, the high snap and a really bad punt. It's going to be at the 30, bounce back in Cougar favor, and it's going to be stopped at the 27-yard line. So a net punt of about 19 yards. And the Cougars will take over almost in the red zone of the Lions.
During pregame warm-ups, the punter didn't really kick it too far. Instead, he was kicking it more upwards.
Saw that there.
Exactly.
Really, really, really bad punt. That only got not some 18 yards, pushes them back against the almost against the shadow of their own goalposts. It's going to be 1st down. Hull back in there. Himmel was there for the first possession. Hull in there. Now it's going to be a handoff to Maris. Maris is going to cut inside and gets tackled at about the 22-yard line, gain of about 5 for the Cougars.
Right now, it seems like Maris is doing a lot for the team, and it'll be interesting to see what he does for the rest of the game, since he may be a big part of this win.
And he will be. Especially, we haven't, Weingartner, Rosenstock, Mariella are the guys we normally talk about on offense a lot, Lyle as well, as this is going to be a big stop there by the Lions. Get to him right at the pass. And it's going to be number 2 there for the Lions with the tackle. That's Christian Mahone. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 10 here for the Cougars.
Mahone saw that play coming right from the start. He lined up, and right when Rosenstock caught the ball, he got to him.
They'll go with a 5 wide receiver look here. It's going to be a fake handoff. Hull looking, fires, caught by Mariella. Mariella to the 15, to the 10, and that's where he's going to be brought down.
Well, now that was the first time that we called Mariella today, and hopefully we'll call that more often this game.
Really a big target line listed here at 6'2", especially against the cornerback that he's lining up against normally, which is the guy that's also running out. Sorry, no, it's number 24 that he's lining up against. That's Howard Brookins. That is lining up against. Listed here as 5'8", so a really big height advantage for the Cougars. They don't really exploit those height advantages very often. With a guy like Mariella, you're going to have him a lot. This Rosenstock here takes it to the 6-yard line, and he's going to get brought back. Forward progress. He's going to you're going to say he tried to break out of it, not mark the forward progress, keep it at the 8-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal here from the 8. Going back to what I was saying, if you look at the Cougars, really it's not a bunch of names we've heard so far in this game that we've been calling. Mariella is not a name that really gets involved in the offense all that much, even though he does have the height advantage. You see a lot of guys go to guys like Rosenstock. Is this going to be Weingartner here on the backwards pass, throw, touchdown, Cougars. Talking about Rosenstock, there he is with the pass, Weingartner with the nice play there.
Looking at that play, you saw the Lions defense focusing on the back pass and didn't really pay attention to anybody in the end zone. That's why Rosenstock was wide open in the end zone and caught the easy touchdown to give the Cougars a 21-0 lead here in the first quarter.
And a great deception play there by the Cougars. You don't see that very often at all. You commit to the pass, not knowing it's backwards, able to throw it again. This game is looking a lot like the game that I called here. It was beginning of October versus Maine East, 44-0. Cougars was the result of that game. And the first quarter was a blowout just like this. And this is a blowout, 21-0 Cougars, a minute 8 left in the first quarter.
This Lions team doesn't look how it was for the past 3 weeks. We'll see how they respond to being down 21 points, something that they haven't really witnessed for the past 3 weeks.
I know they haven't. They have 2 losses this season, Chicago Urban Prep. One of them was against South Shore International on September 24th, lost by 5 points, still put up 36 points in that game and lost. So a good sign for their offense there. And their other loss was 13-12. So no, they haven't really seen a deficit like this, unless they came back from one against South Shore International. But really the biggest test so far they've had right now is this Cougars team.
It seems as if the Cougar team has a lot of adrenaline going through them and have been playing exceptionally well during this first quarter.
And Cougars coming into this game, as we look at this, coming off a loss, and this is something that they've had really well all year, is responding after losses. Coming off the loss against Highland Park was a really, really close game, as this one goes into the end zone for a touchback. Really close throughout. There were a couple of calls which, looking at it, probably were missed calls. Led them down to 14-9. Had a really good drive going. This is after Kyle Hull got knocked out of the game with an injured thigh. Jack Himmel came in. He was the guy that was quarterback for the first possession. Really led a good comeback drive that fell just short after a tip pass. And they've done really well. They haven't lost 2 consecutive games yet this season, winning 31-7 after their loss against Wheeling earlier in the year, winning 44-0 after their loss to Maine West 17-10, and now against Highland Park, they're also perfect at home. This is going to be a little quarterback draw and a huge hit there by the Cougars, and it's going to be 2nd down.
It looked as if Tyler Brancato had a big hit on their quarterback right there.
It's going to be 2nd down. It was a quarterback draw there that did not work out at all. That was number 6, Jeremiah Webb, that was trying to get yards. Did not lose any yards, but didn't gain any either. It's going to be 2nd down as the clock ticks down inside 40 seconds here.
seems like as if all the big name players are doing their job, but then the role players are actually doing a much better job than they were expected to do this game.
Yeah, that's something you really want to see out of a playoff team. And we have called Andrew Smith quite a bit. He's been really the main guy. But you're seeing guys, Maris, who we haven't called as much as a couple of the other guys, is going to be pulled out to the side. It's going to be no gain, 3rd down and 10. And Brancato again with that stop. Going back, you've seen guys like Maris, who we haven't called a whole lot. We've called him a couple times this year, but we haven't called him as much as we have the other offensive weapons really getting involved so far. That's a really good thing to see for the Cougars. As this clock runs down to the end of the first quarter, 21-0 Cougars. A really Cougar-dominated game.
And the role players are doing an amazing job playing in this playoff game very well and responding to all the things that the Lions throw to them.
It's going to be the end of this first quarter. We get that back. It's going to be 3rd and 9 as the field shifts. Not much wind, as the field shifting isn't going to affect field goals or punts as much as you would assume. Not a lot of wind. You can't see any noticeable movement on the flags on either of the goalposts or the flag in the south end zone. For the Cougars, you really don't get that advantage. Normally in the stadium, it's really windy. A lot like you see a lot of the stadiums in the NFL or other sports that really emphasize the wind. There is a lot of wind here normally. Wind's pretty much dead. Flipping the field doesn't help. Andre Schmidt's been helped quite a bit and hurt quite a bit. Really noticeable, especially against Maine East, where he had about 20-yard difference on kickoffs due to the wind. Not much though. So far, so we'll flip the field 3rd and 8 coming up. Actually, going to be 3rd and 9. Going up against a punter who, for Chicago Bronzeville, hasn't done much.
He's just been kicking the kicks high and giving the Cougars great field position, in which they've been actually scoring a lot.
And it's something that happens to you, especially when you had a punt blocked. You want to not get it blocked, and McNeeman Vincent rips through the line to bring him down. It's going to be 4th down and quite a bit for the Lions, and they're going to have to punt again.
McNeeman Vincent just rushed through that line and got to him immediately in order for the Cougars to get a loss on that play.
It'll be 4th and long.
An interesting story is how Hull is responding from injury, as he got injured last week. Now he's playing very well in this game.
It will be 4th down. Drew Weingartner, the deep guy for the Cougars, lined up at about the 40-yard line. The punter for the Lions, Larry Morris, got his first punt blocked, tried to respond, get his second punt in the air higher, punted it, and not get good field position, and so bad snap. He's going to have to run with it. Not going to be able to. A big tackle there by Luke Perlin. And that's going to put the Cougars inside the red zone, inside the 10, at the 6-yard line to start this possession, up 21-0.
The punter for the Lions is not having a good game right now. As he's the first kick blocked, second one it didn't go too far, and now this one botched snap, which caused them to get the Cougars into their red zone position.
And I couldn't tell from up here whether that was a botched snap that forced the run or whether it was a designed run. It did look like the blocking was to that one side.
Well, it looked as if the snap was a little too low and kind of hit the ground.
And timeout for the Lions. And you look at the low snap, and it was, and it would be impossible to put up that punt. But I'm not sure whether it was also a design fake. That very well might have been a design fake. If you look at the blocking scheme for the Lions, really blocking all to that far side, top of your screen. All the blockers are going up there.
Right, but they didn't really do a good job blocking him.
No, it wasn't. It was not a good job at all.
So we can't really have a defined answer on whether.
No, it's something to look at. If it was a design fake, and now it's something you have to keep in the back of your mind if you're the Cougars. Up 21-0. You know they're going to be trying to get back into the game any way they can. A big play, especially on a fake, would be able to do it. We saw that with the Cougars earlier with the fake.
Right.
With the backwards pass.
Right, and that was amazing, as we saw that the defense got fooled by the Cougars, and there was a wide receiver wide open in the end zone, no one covering him.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be something that the Lions need to replicate here, get something going. They haven't gotten anything so far, except for a couple big runs on that first possession, which amounted to nothing.
It'll be interesting to see what the Cougars do here in the red zone, as the last time they pulled off a great fake.
It will be Kyle Hull back under center here. We did see Jack Himmel for that first possession. Haven't seen him yet since. He's going to have 3 to his left, 2 to his right, pushed up against the right hash.
Maybe a strategy that Vernon Hills is using is warming up Himmel, so just in case, he's already warmed up and knows what's going on.
And it's going to be a handoff inside, gets to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 5 here. 2nd and goal here from the 5. And that's something we mentioned on the other side of the red zone, and they had it in the first, was that size advantage. And especially with the guy on the top of your screen, number 1, Chris Mariella, lined up against guys who really, he has a height advantage on. Brian Jones, listed at 5'8". This is going to be thrown to the back of the end zone, and I think he got it down, and he did. A touchdown for the Cougars. Nice catch there up along the back of the sideline by Derek Jarrell. And now the Cougars take a 27-0 lead.
Well, Derek Jarrell was actually a quarterback in his first year of high school, and now he's a wide receiver and comes up big in this playoff game.
Got a great toe tap down in the back of the end zone. A lot of stuff that you can get wrong there if you step out of bounds before the ball gets there. You don't get the 1 foot in bounds, but it was a great play off the back of the end zone there. Cougars take a 27-0 lead. Here comes Schmidt, about to make it 28. He's automatic from the point after spot for the most part, and he puts it through. 28-0. Cougars, 10:38 to go.
One thing that we've noticed throughout this game is how the role players are responding in this playoff game. They're doing amazing. Derek Jarrell is not a name that we usually call that much, and now he got his first touchdown.
That was a name we normally don't call that much. Really got his first action that at least I've noticed last week against Highland Park as wide receiver. I haven't seen, at least he hasn't caught a pass before that I know.
It's interesting how he switched from quarterback to wide receiver, and it seems like the switch actually has paid off for him.
And here come the Cougars, 28-0. That defense is something we're going to mention. The offense putting up 28 points in just over under 13 and a half minutes. Something we'll mention all the time with the offense, but the defense has been incredible as well. Making a lot of big hits, big stops. Got bailed out on the long play. They've given up.
Especially the blocked punt. That was good as well for the Cougars.
Yeah, that as well. Giving really good field position. But looking at just the defensive side of the ball, made 2 bad plays throughout the entire game so far. Really not giving the Lions anything. And Schmidt kicks this one deep. It's going to be fielded in the end zone for a touchback, as the Lions will take over, trying to get something going here in the second quarter.
Schmidt kicks it into the end zone for another touchback for the Cougars.
Here come the Cougars defense. We've seen outside plays, and that's something I mentioned at the top after that big run is how you have to attack the Cougars. You have to attack them to the outside, especially against the 3-5 spur formation that the Cougars run. That's something we haven't seen the Lions do ever since they found success with it.
Well, it seems as if the Cougars actually realized what happened and what they messed up on that play, and now we're responding to those outside runs and stopping them.
I think a very good job, especially by this defense, of responding to the whole playoff environment. Their last year, which a lot of these guys, they have 9 guys returning from last year. So it's going to be a handoff up the gut. Not going to get much. Gets actually a pretty good run. Going to be marked at about a 5-yard run. A lot of these guys, there's 9 of these guys that are returning from last year, have experience last year with the blowout defeat in the playoffs against Joliet Catholic. Team which really hasn't done much at all this year. They actually did not make the playoffs for the first time in I think it was 24 years. I think I remember hearing. But interesting environment compared to their last one, obviously on the road, but really good job responding to that, knowing their playoff experience as a unit. As this is going to be held up, a great play there by the Cougars. First guy there for the Cougars was Trey Hammer. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 2 here.
It looks as if Brian Jones is actually trying to get help from his offensive line in order to gain yards during this drive.
I mean, yeah.
Since the outside runs they're not really going to the outside runs, they're going with inside runs, and they're not really succeeding at that.
It's 3rd down here. the winner of this game will be going up against Nazareth Academy. They're the 15 seed in this bracket. This is the other side of the bracket. 7-10 faces 2-15, the winners of each other. Really, the 2 seed Goods Academy, which is another Chicago school, as Andrew Smith with the big play to keep him from getting to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 1. I would assume the Lions go for it here, right?
Yeah, but looking at that previous play, Fields, it seemed like as the quarterback didn't hand it off to him properly, and Fields had to pull it in, and it took some time for him, which allowed Smith to come and tackle him.
Yeah. I still think it's one of those plays you have to make, though. If you're the running back, you have to find that gap. Goods in Nazareth. Nazareth is a 15 seed facing Goods STEM Academy. They were undefeated from a Chicago public school, I'm pretty sure, or a Chicago school at least, losing 46-6 to Nazareth. So the winner of this game, which if this first 16 minutes is any indication, is going to be the Cougars. 4th down, and he pushes forward, and he gets the first down. So the Cougars aren't able to stop him on the QB sneak.
It looked as if the Cougars had him wrapped up in the backfield, but he got on the outside and was able to get the first down.
And yeah, it was a really nice second effort there by the quarterback for the Lions, number 7, Rashawn Fields. Going back to what I was saying about Nazareth, they were 5-4. They only made it as an at-large team, which means they didn't know whether they're going to make it even going into the final day. 15 seed, come out and beat a previously undefeated team. The Cougars, if they win this game, will go to Nazareth for their second-round matchup. If the Lions manage to come back, they'll host Nazareth as another
penalty is called.
It's going to be delay of game called against the Lions. I thought they took a timeout. It's going to be delay of game, push them back another 5. It's going to be 1st and 15. Another undisciplined play there by the Lions.
The Lions can't get anything going today, either offense or defense, as the Cougars have been doing great today. It's a pass.
This is over the middle, knocked down by Andrew Smith. A great play there by the senior linebacker, and it's going to be 2nd down and 15.
Andrew Smith has been making a lot of plays this season, and he made a great play there, which could have eventually prevented a big gain for first down.
Yeah, you did see a really good route run by the Lions, and really, good idea with the pass. It was wide open. Probably would have broken that, maybe for 6.
It seemed like it, as the middle of the field wasn't really covered during that play.
Yeah, and it was a great play by Smith. Really, the guy has manned that section of the field now for 3 years. Really been doing a good job this year. He's averaging, I think, 16 tackles a game, which is incredible numbers. It's going to be a run here. Up the gut, breaks outside to the 30, down to the 35, cuts into the 40, down to the 42-yard line. So it is going to be the first down, and another big play there by the Lions. They're about 3rd of the game. Number 2 there for the Lions, the ball carrier, Christian Mahone. Max Lyle there to meet him on the sideline to prevent any further damage, but it will be the first down.
It looks as if the outside run is actually working for the Lions right now, as they picked up a first down on their first play with the outside run.
Ball on the right hash at the bottom of your screen for the Lions here, coming off the big play. First drive, they had a couple big plays, a couple big first downs and big runs, which they weren't able to break to anything because of the sack and the blocked punt. It's going to be a pass play here. Good offensive pressure, and they got him. So defensive pressure is what I meant to say. Trey Hammer, the guy there to get him. Tyler Brancato was the first one to hit him, force him outside for Hammer. And it will be 2nd down and about 20 here for the Lions.
Looking at that play, Trey Hammer had no one blocking him, and he just went to the quarterback. He caused the quarterback to be in some trouble, and he eventually went down.
And the stats are going to call that one for Hammer, but that was a great play by Brancato to break through the offensive line there, or at least get to him. And it's going to be 2nd and 22 is what it's going to be marked at here.
It looks,
it looks 20 to me.
It looks as if this Cougar defense doesn't want to give up any points during this game.
It's going to be a snap from the shotgun. Looking, firing. And it's going to be caught. A great catch there. He goes to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Lyle brings him out there. A great catch there by Howard Brookins, another name we've called quite a bit, especially for the Lions. Looked like it could be simultaneous, and both players were going to come down with it, wrestles it away, able to break for another 40 some odd yards. It's going to now be at the 8-yard line.
It was great one-on-one coverage, and Brockins made the better play during that time.
Be first down here. From the shotgun, Jeremiah Wood takes the snap, handoff. It's going to actually be a read option here. Pulls the outside, slips, and that's where he's going to be down as he gave himself up is what that's ruled at when you touch the ground. It's one of the rules here. It's different from the professional level. That's going to go down as a sack for the Cougars.
What I was surprised there is that there was no holding call on the Lions, as I saw that once Danny Lester broke through, they held on to his jersey.
Would have been declined anyway, would be my guess. Even if it was a holding call, I'd rather have the 2nd and 12. It's going to be incomplete, thrown high. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 12 here for the Lions, and they really need to get something going here.
Luke Perlin did an amazing job there covering Brookins during that play in order to prevent him from trying to go for the touchdown. It's third down and goal.
3rd down and goal here from the 12 after the sack and the slip. The Lions come out here. They're going to come out with formation with under center. Have two guys and fullback and a halfback. It's going to be a little pitch. Brookins breaks outside. Brookins cuts inside to the 10. Brookins to the 5, and that's where he's going to get brought down. And it's going to be 4th down and goal here from the 5. Do you go for it here, or do you kick the field goal?
I'd say kick the field goal to at least get some points up on the board right now.
It does not look like they have a field goal unit out. I would do the same thing. I'd kick the field goal here, get some points on the board, and that is not what they're going to do. They're going to take their chances here, get the 6 yards.
It'll be interesting to see what type of play they call, because right now they need anything in order to boost their confidence right now.
4th and 6. Big play in this game, trying to hold the Lions to having a goose egg on the board right now. Going to be a handoff, and he runs into his own offensive lineman and falls backwards. So that's going to be all of that drive for the Lions. The Cougars will take over from their own 8-yard line.
It looked as if the running back just didn't see anything open and just ran into his offensive lineman.
Not a very good job of that play. It's the draw. They did a good job of looking like they were going to pass it originally, and did not have anyone in the backfield for the Cougars at all. And then their offensive lineman scooted right into his own running back, stopping the run. And now there's going to be a Cougar possession here with a 1st down.
Throughout this game, the Cougar offense and defense has been doing very well.
Yes, it has. There's going to be a handoff here. It's going to be a fake handoff, and he's going to get wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 3 yards there. Guy that get him was number 53, Johnny Collins. For the Lions, going to be 2nd down of about 12.
And I believe when Johnny Collins was on offense, that's the person who Fields ran into.
There'll be a little action here. Has to get rid of the ball. He's in his own end zone. Finds Gerald. Sorry, no, that's Weingartner for the 1st down. 20. Going to be not a 1st down. It will be a 1st down. Just enough for the 1st down. Weingartner 22 and Gerald 12. Only saw the 2 right there. Either way, it's going to be the 1st down.
Well, this takes the pressure off of Kyle Hull, since he's not really backed up into his own end zone anymore.
No, he's not. And that was a really panic throw. Great job finding the guy, but it was somewhat of a panic throw, knowing he's in the end zone. You're 100% right about that. It's going to be a handoff here. Weingartner brings it up to the 30, knocked down at the 32-yard line. Nice tackle there by number 23, Jeremy Spencer.
And Rosenstock did what the Lions have been doing to the Cougars. He's ran it outside and got a good gain on that play.
Yes, he has. It was a really nice run, able to set up the ball. Lions been running in a more traditional look, have 4 linemen, 2 down linemen, 2 ends who are up, playing as outside linebackers, sort of. This is going to be a pass here. It's a backwards pass, but he's going to try to break with it. Not going to be able to. Gets about 2 yards there, Weingartner. In traditional look for traditional defensive look for the Lions, doesn't really find as susceptible to the outside as the Cougars are, but the Cougars have been getting more success to the outside.
And Weingartner got a good gain on here in order to make it a shorter second down for the Cougars.
It's going to be a snap, fake handoff. Looking over the middle, finds Mariella. Mariella to the 50, he breaks out of a tackle, and he's going to be brought down at the 45. A big play for the Cougars. Nice tackle there as well. Larry Morris does a nice job to bring down the 6'2 Mariella, and it's going to be 1st and 10.
And then Rosenstock on that play did an amazing job blocking as the linebacker was blitzing and came in with the full head of force in order to try to sack Hull.
First and 10 here. Hull has a guy in motion, takes a snap, fake handoff to Maris. He has to throw off his back foot, finds a guy. That's Rosenstock. Rosenstock to the 45, Rosenstock to the 40, cuts inside the 35 to the 30. Stiff arms a man, and he's going to get brought down by a couple of Lions. Larry Morris was the first guy to get to him and the guy to eventually bring him down. And it's going to be at the 25-yard line.
But there's a penalty on the play, and we'll see what the refs call.
There are 2 flags on the play. One at the end of the play, it looks like one at the beginning of the play, so it'll be a lot to sort out here for the referees. It looks like this play might be coming back. Even if one's on the Cougars, one's on the Lions, that's coincidental. The play does come back. So it'll be interesting to see what the call is. And
personal foul,
roughing the passer called against the Lions and holding against the Cougars. Those offset, so it will reset the play. First down for the Cougars. That big play does not happen anymore.
And during that play, the wide receivers did a nice job blocking in order to help Rosenstock try to get the first down.
2:15 left here. The Cougars love to put up another 7 before the break. Put them up 35, get them back into that almost running clock territory, which would be 40 plus. As is 28-0 now, pushed back to the 45 after the big play and the coincidental penalties. And this is going to be finding Lyle on the little rollout. Lyle breaks inside to the 35, breaks back outside to the 30, makes guys miss, down to the 27-yard line. A great little second effort there by Max Lyle. And the clock will stop here. It should stop here for the first down.
This year, Lyle has had a breakout year, helping the Cougar offense be amazing this year.
And he has. He's really been one of the biggest keys for the Cougar offense. Is the signal up here is to put 5 more seconds back on the clock, and it will be 1:55.
And Lyle's agility has helped him so much as he's able to juke out defenders and try to go for more yards.
And really, really nice play there by Max Lyle. You're right. He's been really agile, and that's why he's been one of the big keys, especially in the special teams game so far this year for the Cougars. And in the backfield, he's been, whenever there's a running back in set, at least in this game so far, it's always been Lyles. He motions out here, Hull looking. He has to evade pressure, does. He has to run with the ball, gets to the 20, cuts it back inside, looking to evade pressure. He does. To the 15, out to the 12-yard line. And Kyle Hull looking like a running back right there, gets himself to the 12-yard line.
And as we're talking about Lyle's agility, now we see Hull's agility, how he's able to juke out defenders and go for those yards as well.
Really very similar looking plays by the two of them.
This Cougars team is full of agility, and it's helping them right now in this playoff game.
That's one thing the coach of Highland Park after the last game said in a preview article written by the Daily Herald, mentions that they use their athletes really well. Don't have positional players, have athletes. And he hand off here to Maris. He's going to get to the 1, not able to get in. It's going to be second down. And I think that couldn't ring more true for the Cougars. Is they don't have positional players, they have athletes.
And Maris right now is doing a great job on both offense and defense. As in the first quarter, you saw him playing great defense as a cornerback, and now he's helping the Cougar offense move forward in order to get a touchdown.
And the refs are talking to the Vernon Hills sideline. I'm not sure what that's about. Will be first down at the 1. 1:19 to go here.
It's interesting to see what the Cougars will call on this play in order to try to get a score before the half ends. There's a motion.
And it will be a handoff here. See, second effort. Gets in for the touchdown. Nick Maris puts points on the board. 35-0.
And the role players for the Cougars are honestly doing a great job, as we saw Maris do right there, as he's been a big part of this game right now.
As we'll line up for the extra point. And Maris has been a huge part of this game. Not one of those names we typically call. Lyle, Weingartner, Rosenstock are the 3 guys we normally call. Maris has been lined up all over the place. Low snap. Schmidt has to back up for a second, but does put the extra point through. 35-0 here for the Cougars. 1:18 left to go here in the second quarter.
And there are 2 players that we haven't really called much this season that have made bid plays for this Cougars team. 1, Derek Gerald. 2,
yeah.
And 2, Maris.
And a couple those 2 on offense. We've also one name. He's been out there. Quite on every play, but hasn't been. He's been overshadowed, especially by McNeeman Vincent, who's the center guy. Guy's made a couple big plays. Is Tyler Brancato. Made a couple big sacks, big pressures, which led to sacks as well. And he's been really well, especially out there at the right end position. As the Cougars will line up here for the kickoff.
The Cougars are pretty much having everything going their way this game, as they're leading 35-0 against a team that blanked out their opponents for the past 3 weeks, and now are getting blanked out in this playoff game.
Yeah, especially.
It seems like they weren't prepared for the Cougars to come with this type of adrenaline and be beating them by this much in the first half alone.
And I'm not sure about the skill level of Harlan, Hyde Park, or Kelly, which are the 3 schools they beat, but to hold them to 0 points, even the good teams holding the bad teams to 0 points, is an impressive feat. Normally you put up at least a field goal, or at least get 1 in. So to hold 3 guys in a row, that says something about the defense. And for the Cougars to come in and just destroy that defense, I think that says something about the Cougars. As this kickoff will go to the 1, it's going to be brought out to the 5, to the 10, 15, cuts inside to the 20, to the 25, and that's where you're going to get brought out. A decent return there by the Lions.
Jones did a decent job of trying to get more yards on that play, and there seems to be a penalty out right now.
And there is a flag down at the 18-yard line. Did not see that. That might have came in after the play. So waiting to see what the call is. There has to be, in my mind, a return. I don't think the Cougars ever got to the 18-yard line. So that kind of has to be a penalty if that's spotted right against Bronzeville. And it is going to be an illegal block in the back called against the Tigers. That's going to push them back. 1st and 10 it still will be, but the penalty will push them back to the 9-yard line.
And looking at this game, the Lions aren't looking like their usual selves, as they're not able to get any break on offense or defense, as the Cougars are doing a tremendous job on stopping the Lions' offense, and the defense is making a lot of stops, which have prevented the Lions from scoring a touchdown.
Will be first down here from the 9-yard line. A couple new names in there for the Cougar defense. We'll tell you them after this play. This one gets outside to the 10, to the 15-yard line. Going to knock that out of bounds at the 16. One name that hasn't been out there so far that I haven't seen out there is Quinn Guerin, lining up at cornerback alongside of number 2 Christian Mahone for the Lions. That's a name I haven't seen so far on this defensive unit yet.
And during that play, it seemed like he was getting pushed back, which allowed Fields to get that gain.
It'll be 2nd and 4, 6-yard gain. As is going to be a little flip, and he's going to get hit. Now brought down, lost the football. Picked up by the Cougars. They lose it. It's in the end zone. I think they have it. They do. Touchdown Cougars. Luke Perlin had the punt block. Now has this. a touchdown on a crazy play, starts 41-0 for the Cougars.
And it seemed as if the running back on that play never really had any full control of the ball, as he was bobbling it in his hands when he got the ball and didn't really have control, which allowed the Cougars to get that fumble and get the touchdown.
100% right about that. He never did have control about the ball. He never got hit either. Never got hit when he dropped the ball. Just dropped it back, couldn't recover it. And then the Cougars recovered it. Pearlin had it, was brought it to the 2. He lost the football and then had to fall on top of it in the end zone.
Well, the quarterback for the Lions this game hasn't really done a good job tossing it to his running backs, and it's caused them to either lose yards or, in this case, allow the Cougars to get a touchdown from a fumble.
And the extra point is good. It's 42-0 now. The running clock comes into effect at 40. So I haven't seen it start yet. Something the refs are going to have to sort out with the timekeepers up here. As the Cougars will line up. 42-0. This is bigger than the victory against Maine West. Well, not bigger yet. The victory against Maine West was 44,
and
but they had 37 and a half.
And this Cougars team is responding great to a grueling loss that they had last week against Highland Park. I'm surprised at how many points they've put up this first half.
Yeah, especially against Highland Park. I mean, Highland Park is a team which they won our conference. At least they got they won our conference with as a co-winners with Glenbrook North, who we beat, but weren't really able to get anything going against them. It's a better defense. We're not gonna not say that. They do have a better defense, but not able to get much done. Only got the 9 points. That one touchdown they got coming off of special teams, had nothing offensively, and then coming back here and scoring 5 offensive touchdowns so far and 1 defensive touchdown.
The Cougars have had a lot of surprises this season, and I think this one is the best surprise yet.
This or the one against Maine West, one of the two. Maine East. Maine West we lost to 17-10. Maine West we came back, Maine West we lost to 17-10. Maine East we came back and beat 44-0. That kickoff goes through the back of the end zone. 54.2 seconds left. All Cougars so far, 42-0.
And it seems as if that the Cougars will try to stop the Lions before the half, so they don't score before the half.
And this may be a crucial one, especially for people that want to get out of here. With the clock, with the accelerated clock, once it gets to 54 seconds, once the 54 seconds end and the second half starts, up by 40 or more, the running clock starts. So really make the game speed up for people that want to get out of here. Go somewhere wherever they else. The Cubs game tonight, and that won't run into that, but.
Or maybe even the Bulls game.
But that's a big key for the Cougars. Try to keep this accelerated clock running, get a lot of their backups on the field as well. It's a timeout called by the Lions.
And it looked as if number 75 for the Lions, John Hunter, was trying to come onto the field, which caused the Lions call a timeout.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they had 11 guys or 10 guys in that huddle, and that very well might have been the keys. They had 11 guys and 6 eligible receivers, which would have been a penalty as well. So timeout here, 54.2 seconds left to go, 42-0 Cougars. All Cougars so far. Lions haven't gotten anything.
And if the Lions wanted to get something, this would be the time, because after this, it'll be hard in order for the Lions to put up a performance to stop the Cougars by the way they're playing. And
Cougars lining up here with the same personnel they had at the end of the last drive. Quinn Guerin in with the normal guys that we've seen so far: McNeeman, Vincent, Brancato, Andrew Smith, Trey Hammer, all in there for the Cougars still, even up by 42. It's going to be a snap. And break outside to the 15, to the 17. He's going to have to run backwards. And he's going to get forced out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Not sure what he was doing there, running backwards. And running backwards there, not sure what he was doing. Loses about 5 yards compared to what he would have gotten with forward progress.
And McNeeman Vincent during that play pressured their quarterback from the start, and then Pearlin picked up the slack for McNeeman Vincent and came up with the loss.
It'll be second down and 20. Great job so far. That play, especially with all the guys breaking through, but in general for this defensive line. Been pressuring pretty much every pass so far. 45.8 seconds left. Kind of surprised not to see Bronzeville try to take this into the half.
And what they want to try to do is probably try to get a score on them so they can at least have some confidence for the second half.
Fumbled snap. He's going to have to try to make something out of nothing again, and he's not going to be able to. Just goes down untouched. It's going to be at the 4-yard line here for third down. Clock will run. So effectively a kneel. And clock looks like will run out to the second half here. All Cougars, 42-0.
And John Hunter on that play, who's the center for the Lions, did not have a good snap, which caused the Lions to have a sack.
And they are lining up here for another play. Thought they would be going right into half. 7 seconds left, 6-5, and they're not going to field the snap. And this will take us to the half. All Cougars, 42-0. Back here for the second half from Rust-Oleum Field in a couple minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your varsity dance team to the field. They will be performing their UDA camp routine. This year's team members include seniors Allison Sherwinka, Aaron Crowley, Megan Singer, and Amanda Stenstrom. Juniors are Lainey Heyman, Courtney Himley, Jesse Ripes, Elise Schwartz, Alyssa Tolari, and Sammy Waitley. The sophomores are Sammy Gilfan, Caitlin Fagel, Emma Kruzik, Emma Silbar, Giovanna Terry, Madeline Woodrow, and a freshman, Rebecca Kessler. applause for your Cougar dance team.
Who's going to replace number 2? Probably Bridge. I know what you're talking about. Sweatshirt on, but my legs are cold.
Cougar fans, please welcome to the track the Cougar Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Randy Sundell. First up is a 1980s hit by American rock singer Pat Benatar. This song is actually a cover song, but Pat's version far exceeded the popularity of the original, reaching gold status in the United States. This is Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar. Great job, Cougar Pep Band. Now I know what you're thinking. We need the Jonas Brothers to create another spin-off group. Well, you are in luck. Joe Jonas created DNCE last year, and their only recorded song, Cake by the Ocean, rose to #1 on the charts this past summer.
Welcome back here for the second half from Rust-Oleum Field. All Cougars so far in the first half, 42-0. The game which really hasn't even been close.
It really hasn't. The Lions haven't been able to get anything going offensively, defensively, or on special teams.
I mean, that's the three things you have to get going if you want to score, and they haven't scored at all. Had a good drive at that last drive of the game. Last drive of the half, I should say, stalled at the 6-yard line. Really good job so far by the Cougars, especially on the defensive side of the ball, keeping them a couple big plays and not succumbing to the pressure of having right after those big plays. Very easily could be 42-7, 42-14 right now, which would make it for a lot more tight of a ball game.
They could have actually gotten a field goal and got some momentum, but instead they decided to go for it on 4th down and failed to score the touchdown.
And down by what they were, I can't blame them for trying to do that. They were down by 35 at that point. Being down by 35, you've got to get something going. Bring it to a 4-possession game. 31 puts you at 30. Getting a 3 puts it 35-3. It's still a 5-possession game. So I don't blame them. You obviously like to get the points on the board in that situation, but not the end of the world for them, as the game still would have been a really hard one to come by. Here we go, 42-0 now, Cougars.
What I'm surprised about is how Bronzeville hasn't even put up any points after they've been doing well for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they have been. They've been really good for the past 3 weeks, as you mentioned. 54 points, 38 points, 46 points in order.
I mean, I would imagine that they would carry some of the momentum into this game, but it seems as if the Cougars, who had a loss last week, have all the momentum.
Another big difference, though, as you could see, is the strength of schedule. The last 2 weeks, the Cougars have played 2 close games. One that they lost really close, one they won because of a couple missed field goals, against 2 7-2 teams that were co-winners of the conference. That's something that, I mean, Bronzeville was the co-winner of their conference. They were 7-2. They were tied for the winner of their conference. But just that strength of schedule aspect, there are 2 guys ahead of the Cougars in the 1 through 6 seeds of these playoffs, as this one will be through the back of the end zone for a touchback. When I can't tell, I don't think there are any for the ahead of the Lions for the Bronzeville. As it starts up now, I'm pretty sure the running clock will start unless that's a playoff rule. This is the first playoff game I've done at this level, and playoff games don't normally get blown out, aren't normally blowouts like this. But
I mean, it's probably that after the first snap. Oh, never mind. The clock is started.
Oh, there we go. Okay. The answer to my question, that's something that you don't see is 40-0 playoff games very often. Is normal playoff games supposed to be close? Really, both games on this side of the bracket, this one and the one that the Cougars will be facing in the next round, Nazareth, both of their games weren't close. Nazareth went up 37-0 in the first quarter of their game against Goods Academy.
I mean, once you go up 37-0 in a quarter, you would assume that they have a lot of momentum and will win the game at the end.
Yeah, and this is a completed pass there for about 5 yards. And for especially at a playoff game, especially with Goods, the team that lost, being 9-0, wasn't expected on that side of the bracket. This game being this lopsided especially wasn't expected. Cougars probably came into this as favorites, knowing their strength of schedule compared to Bronzeville's, but had the same record. Nazareth was 5-4, Goods was 9-0.
Well, we see the Lions lining up here, going in for a pass, and they get sacked.
Nice play there by the Cougars. That's number 35, Trey Hammer, in there making the sack. It's going to be 3rd down and a long here for the Cougars, or for the Lions. I'm sorry, 3rd down about 15. Coming into this, it's more of the same. You think the Cougars would end up putting some of their younger guys in there, some of their sophomores, guys that we saw against Maine East, in that 44-0 victory. Haven't seen that yet. Maybe on the offense we will.
Yeah, it should be coming up soon, since this game is pretty much wrapped up, unless the Lions can find some sort of momentum. You'd see all the younger, newer athletes getting into the game.
That, or I could put a counter argument to myself and yours. That one's incomplete. Down to the ground is how does playoff change your thinking if you're Coach Belcomo and the Cougars? Do you want to put all your guys out there so they get the experience in the playoffs more?
I mean,
you can think about it that way as well.
Plus, it'll be a good for the Cougars, since they'll have some experience. So if anybody goes down in the games to come, then you have people who have already experienced this type of game, and they'll be able to perform to a certain level when they get in.
I could buy that. Here comes a punt here for the Lions, backed up against their own goal, post down at the 13-yard line.
And
17 to go. It's just going to be a high snap, and he's going to have to break it, and he does. It's another fake down to the 15, and he's stopped. A nice play there by Jake Morris to stop him, and the Cougars will get some more good field position now, and see we'll get to see who's coming on for the Cougars.
Well, actually, Jake Morris was one of the sophomores that actually played a role in varsity this year.
Yes, he has.
Along with Max Shea, who is the center for the Cougars.
Yeah, really, those are the two big sophomores they've had. And it does look like they're running with a younger lineup now. Derek Jarrell, who's been wide receiver so far, now under center. He was a quarterback last year for the freshman team. Is their third string, I guess you can call, behind Himmel. Jack Himmel, who we saw at the beginning of this game, before Hull took over. Now it's Jarrell.
I think probably that they kept Himmel in there just for one drive, just so he could get some type of experience in this playoff game before Hull took over.
And here's a run here by Guerin. He stays on his feet. He's gonna get down to the 10-yard line. I could see that. Himmel also maybe to judge whether still have a stall for time to see whether Hull was available. He went down really bad against Highland Park.
He was
in the last game,
and he was on crutches, and it seemed like he couldn't even walk during that point. It's surprising how far he's come in just a short week's time.
Yeah, especially, and for Himmel to come in here didn't look good. Holt played really, really well in the beginning of the first half.
It seemed as if that injury had nothing on him.
No, it did not. It didn't look like it. It became more of the same. It's a good thing to have for any position, especially the quarterback, is come back strong after you're hurt.
Now, it's nice to have all these younger people in their lineup right now, since they'll be the future of this team, and in order to keep this winning record, they need to have the experience. And this is the perfect time for experience.
Yeah, especially there's Quinn Guerin on that run. He's been another name that we've seen quite a bit for the sophomores. Hasn't been making plays, but has been out there on defense for pretty much this entire game. Him, Gerald, and Morris.
And Quinn last year was primarily a running back, but he was also one of those slot wide receivers who used his speed in order to beat his opponents.
Yeah, and you see that speed right there getting through, and that agility with the one to stay on his feet. It could be first down and goal from the 2.
And
this ball still isn't set. Going to see what's happening here. Okay, now it's set. Gerald in the shotgun takes the snap. He looks. He's going to have to evade the pressure, and he does. And Gerald's going to find the end zone. Touchdown Cougars. They add another 6. His second of the game. 1 receiving, now 1 rushing from quarterback. And it will be 48-0. Extra point pending. Clock continues to run with the running clock here. 6:15 to go here in the third.
And he did an amazing job on that play. As you saw, a blitz was coming right at him. He was able to get over the blitz and score the touchdown.
Yeah, and it's great job of evading 2 guys, split between 2 guys in the pressure. Great field awareness there by a guy who has very little experience. The only experience he has at this level was against Maine East, as this one is kicked through the uprights, 49-0. As the Cougars look to end this game even quicker than it began.
Well, one thing that we have to keep in notice is that Derek although he hasn't played quarterback on the main offense, he's been playing a lot of wide receiver on the main offense. And I think that's helped him a lot, since he knows this offense better than really most of the people playing right now. And we see the kickoff unit getting ready.
As we look forward to the next game against Nazareth, as we mentioned before, they beat their opponents, which are Goods Academy, another Chicago team, 9-0. They were the 2 seed in our bracket. Nazareth was the 15 seed. How it works with the playoffs is the team with the fewer home games gets to host the game. So therefore, Vernon Hills has had a home game. Nazareth, as the 15 seed, went to Chicago to face Goods. So Nazareth will get the home game against the Cougars next week.
And looking at how this side of the bracket, there were 2 blowouts. Who do you think will have the most momentum going into the game next week?
Just because the fact that they were the underdogs and they're at home, I would have to say Nazareth. But with the amount of points the Cougars could put up, I don't see how they wouldn't have a lot of momentum as well. It's going to be a fun game next week. If you look at Nazareth, looking at them now, they've last 2 games, they've faced Marian Catholic, won 49-6, beat Good 46-6. So they have 2 really good performances in a row. But as we've seen with in this game with Bronzeville, having a couple good performances in a row doesn't necessarily translate.
And now, looking on the field, we see some new players. Brandon Harris, number 3, is on the bottom of your screen now. He's a sophomore, and he's getting some playoff time right here.
You see the deep safety as well. You see Caleb Thompson, number 16, in the middle. He's that guy that doesn't normally play. Avery Foster is another guy in there, 47. Kyle Fassbender. He's been in there for quite a bit this year. Hasn't started, lost his starting spot, it looked like. Is now in there as well. This one is going to be a pressure and a sack there by Foster.
It was looking at that play. Foster was actually trying to rip the ball out of the quarterback's hand, and it was a nice job of the quarterback in order to hold on to that ball and prevent a fumble.
It was. The last thing you want to do in this game is have the score run up against you more. If they fumble the ball, it's probably going for another 6. A couple more of the new names we've seen out there is Cole Wharton, number 66 in the linebacking crew. Jezreel Gundren is out there in the on the defensive line at 60. Number 76, Nathan Truger, is in there as defensive tackles. This one's thrown up. Harris tips it, and it's caught off the deflection. Nice play there to keep his eye on the ball, and it will be a first down here for the Lions, number 24, Howard Brookins.
And that play looked exactly like when the Patriots and Seahawks played, where Malcolm tipped the pass, but Curse was able to pull it down. Now we see the Lions lining up. It looks as if they're going for a pass as there's an empty backfield.
Is the snap here a low snap? It's going to be fired off to the side, and it's dropped. And it looked backwards to me. It's going to be a ruled a forward pass, incomplete.
And
Second
there's
down.
a penalty. It looked maybe roughing the passer because Jezreel Gundran just went in there and the flag was thrown right when he went down.
And it will be a personal foul against Bronzeville. I'm not sure what that could have been, unless it's taunting maybe, or an after the play foul, which is a good point.
Well, I saw that Jezreel Gundran, number 60, was on the ground, so it could be something going on with a player from Bronzeville and Jezreel. Right,
yeah, that would be my guess. This is a really big penalty. He's pushing them back 15 yards. Second and 25 here. That's one thing you're going to like to see from a lot of the new guys out there. Fahim Manan is also a new one. We saw 71 playing at the left end slot. Is that experience and that knack, if he drew it as well, to get that call. And this is going to be a deep pass, picked off by Quinn Guerin. And he's going to be wrapped up at about the 46-yard line. And the Cougars get the interception, get the ball back here, as the clock will continue to run with the running clock, a minute left.
And it seems right now that the freshman team from last year is actually taking their place on the field right now.
It does look like that, you're right.
As now they're getting experience, so in the future when they're in this situation, they know exactly what to do at the right time.
Here come the Cougars, up 49-0. Not much you need to do here if you're the Cougars and got your guys experience, and that's what they're doing. Look at some of the names we'll call here. Max Lyle is still out there. He's a junior, so he'll be on this team next year.
There's a new name out there, Jonathan McGuire, who's actually on the bottom of your screen.
He's a senior. He hasn't gotten much playing time at all. He did a lot last year. He's a lot of calls last year. Hasn't done much this year. He's out there on the bottom of the screen. Snap here by Gerald. He's going to look for something, make something out of nothing. Not going to be able to. Loses 3 yards. And this will be the end of the third quarter. 49-0 Cougars. This game, blowout, and that doesn't even begin to describe it.
And Looking at the game right now, sooner or later you'll see pretty much the freshman team from last year taking the field since it's such a blowout, and probably if they get one more score, you'll see pretty much the freshman team from last year.
As the fourth quarter starts, you look ahead to this game, playoff victory. We didn't see that last year. We lost to Joliet Catholic.
Amazing.
I don't remember the score, what it was, but it was a blowout. I think we held them to like the first half, and then they just ran wild.
Yeah, what I remember is that watching that game from home, I saw that the Cougars and Joliet Catholic were pretty much evenly matched during the first half, but then Joliet Catholic pulled away during the second half of the game.
Yeah, and that's something you see for them to win a game, especially for a lot of these guys that were here last year and saw the loss to Joliet Catholic and the embarrassing loss as well.
The fact that this is in front of the home crowd is much better since they know that they're able to win and they could go far into these playoffs.
Yeah, especially with the teams that are higher seed getting knocked out.
As well as the role players actually had a larger role than expected in this game.
As here's Quinn Guerin losing a couple of yards, going to be third down and quite a bit here for the Cougars. But for a lot of these guys, as I'm getting back to the point I was trying to make, that were here as juniors, as sophomores last year, that had big roles. That guys like Kyle Hull, he wasn't the quarterback, but he was on this team. He was a wide receiver last year for Cutter McNamara, who is now, I think he's at Ball State, I'm not sure. But a lot of these guys that experienced that, played in that playoff experience really showing here, and will show again against Nazareth, I would assume.
I also believe that Kyle Hull was on defense last year as a cornerback, and he made some pretty big plays in order to help the Cougars get into the playoffs for the first time in, I believe, 9 years?
I think it was something like that. It was a while. And yeah, he was one of those role players that played on both sides of the ball. And they still have tons of those. And it's going to be a deep pass here. Guerin makes the catch down to the 32-yard line. Cougar first down.
And you see, though, pretty much the sophomores right now are making a big impact in the winning moments of this game, and they're making as much damage as the starting lineup did.
Yes, they are, and it's been really impressive to see, especially after the first two bounce backs, the first two plays backwards, to see them bounce back and do a really nice job against this varsity defense. For Bronzeville, it seems mostly made up of juniors. Couple sophomores and seniors thrown in there as we look at our roster sheet up here. Mostly juniors, to see these guys playing a grade up and still finding success moving the ball on those big plays. It was a great touch pass there by Gerald to find Guerin as well. Do not take credit away from that.
Derek Gerald